All right, we're back with a candid conversation about money. Now, it's not something a lot of people like to talk about. In fact, one recent survey found 77% of Americans report feeling anxious about their financial situation. More than half feel that finances control their lives. Well, our next guest is hoping to change that. Lewis Howes, he's the host of The School of Greatness, which is one of the top podcasts in the country. And today, his new book hits store shelves. It's called Make Money Easy. Now, if you know Lewis's story, you know early in his life, money was not easy for him. It was hard. An up-and-coming football star. He was injured. He was broke. He was living on his sister's couch. That's about as low as it gets. So this is an issue he knows well, and Lewis is here to talk more about what he has learned over the last couple decades. Good to have you with us. Congrats on the book. I'm a big fan of yours, so I'm excited to talk with you about this.
Thank you very much.
You've written books about how to develop a mindset. You've written books about masculinity. Why was it this time you decided to focus on money?
Well, I think because I started out feeling very insecure with money. I didn't understand the concept of money. I didn't have any money, and I didn't want to feel that pain and suffering. And as I started to grow my podcast over the last 12 years, so many people came to me struggling with money questions, money problems. And as I was learning about how to manage money as I started to make it, I realized there were more problems that were under the surface, and I wanted to figure out how to navigate those issues.
You say money comes to people when they're ready for it. I think most people would say, oh, I'm ready for money now, but they're not. I mean, talk about how you know you are ready and how you get to that point.
When I was broke on my sister's couch, I had a mentor who told me that line, and I said, I could really use some money right now. But looking back a few years later, as I started to make it, I realized I wasn't emotionally ready to receive money. I would have spent it. I would have blown it. I would have gone into debt. And so I would have sabotaged my life having money before I was ready for it. And really what we need to be learning about is how to be able to emotionally receive money and navigate it and feel safe. Now, it may seem a little weird on this show because maybe we don't talk about energy and things like that. But when I started to feel more emotionally safe and believing that I was worthy of receiving more and able to steward the money, that's when more money started to come to me without the money problems on top of it.
So your mindset book was kind of like a prelude to this,
Yes.
I feel like, in a lot of ways. Your book lays out 3 critical steps to improve your relationship with money. It starts with knowing your money story. Talk about what that means.
You know, there was a lot of different moments that I had growing up where I had these kind of deeper insecurities or wounds around money. I stole things as a kid, people stole things from me, and it created these kind of micro memories around trauma around money. Therefore, I didn't feel emotionally safe with money as I got older. And until I started to kind of navigate and process those things, then I was able to be more ready for more financial abundance.
You say when you receive money, you should actually
thank it.
Thank the money.
Thank the
is
money.
that what you mean? Literally say thank you, money? Or talk about it? Because some people might be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, this is kind of weird, right? It's like, okay, money comes to you and you say thank it. I think we need to start looking at money like it's a relationship. So if money walked in the door and it was a person, how would it make you feel? Would you thank it? Would you be grateful? Would you be, hey, get away from me? How would you react to money if it walked in the door? And when you can start to just look at money and have a deeper relationship with it in terms of a healthy relationship, and say, hey, I found a penny. Thank you for coming into my life. Here's $1 million. Thank you. And then directing it and say, where do you want to go? Most people are clueless of where money should go. They spend it, they blow it, they give it away. They're not clear. So thank your money, be grateful for it, and you'll have a better relationship with it.
Do you still do that?
I do it, yeah. I found a penny this morning and I said, thank you for coming to my life. You want to attract more money in your life, you have to create a healthier relationship with it. If you don't thank it, why would it want to come to you? Again, it may be a little weird talking about this, but it's a mindset shift.
I want to ask you, we only have like 30 seconds left here, but you started doing podcasting like 12 years ago when I think a lot of people thought, this is just radio. What are you doing here? And obviously, you had the last laugh. Because why is it that podcasting has become such a successful format?
I think you can be so real and raw with individuals. You can be your most authentic, honest self, and you can go long form with people. And I think that is a shift that people are looking for. They're looking for on demand. They're looking for access whenever they want to listen to it. And you can really build something special in podcasting.
So we got a lot in this 4-minute conversation here. Lewis Howes, great to have you on. Congratulations. The book is called Make Money Easy. It is out today. And, of course, the podcast is called The School of Greatness. We appreciate having you on. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.